What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Party Chat. I am your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, Dan Gilbert and Ashley Dye.
Gents.
Gentlemen.
Well, nice we get our surnames back.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
And Matt.
What are you talking about? It's like two completely different days. It's not like it's straight after the last thing we just filmed.
No,
that's what I mean. That's in like a few days later, we get our surnames back again.
Yeah, well, after the threat to strike, after not introducing you formally, I figured that
we were going to go to our union and everything.
Got to treat you with respect. Mr. Gilbert will be next week.
And Sir.
And Lieutenant Dye.
Lieutenant.
So anyway, Party Chat. We've already lost everyone now. But
I know.
Party Chat is a weekly show that the three of us do. We get together for about 10 minutes just to discuss one particular topic, video game related. It can basically be anything, whatever any of us are smart enough to come up with.
Yeah.
This week was actually quite an easy one. We mentioned it at the end of last week's show, and basically Satoru Iwata passed away. He was the president of Nintendo, and so we figured the best way to honour him was this week's Party Chat would be dedicated to him by all of us talking about our favourite Nintendo memories, or memory, if you have one particular standout.
Yeah.
I don't know which one of you wants to go first.
I'm happy to.
Yeah.
I think for me, as soon as I think of Nintendo, where it all started for me was, the original Nintendo, the small grey sort of controller.
Okay.
And
the NES controller.
Yeah. And having, the games, the big cartridges, the big grey cartridges, and they were just such a nightmare to play because you'd have to get them and blow the dust out.
You do realise that there's actually scientific proof that that actually has no bearing on
I know,
the
but
game works.
But it's the thing everyone learned you needed to do.
And I'm sure everyone can relate to this. It's a bit of nostalgia here in that was just what everyone did, and you'd push the game in, you push it down, and you close the lid, and would it work? No, so you'd take it out again. You'd
It really was like a cassette player, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it really was. And I think for me, that's just something that's always just so vivid in my memory of playing on the NES back then.
So the pain of being able to
that's
your memory.
But
it's nice my honouring tribute and memory of Nintendo. Difficult to play.
No, I'm not necessarily difficult to play. I mean, it just it's a good memory because I just remember how
any particular game when you did eventually get it to work.
Well, yeah, there was lots of
games.
I mean, I loved Duck Hunt with a gun. It was just so good. Duck Hunt, Duck Hunt. Yeah, it was Duck Hunt with the red and grey gun. That was a big favourite.
Where peripherals all started.
Yeah,
I never had that.
It was a really loud sort of click as well.
Then
really
they kind of disappeared for a bit, and then they came back with a vengeance.
Time Crisis.
But I think, I really enjoyed that game. Favourite all-time game possibly might be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
I
loved it.
Well, we had that as like earliest gaming memories or something. I'm sure you brought it up before.
I probably did.
Game
it was one of my first games on the Nintendo. I mean, before then it was like a Commodore. So it was the NES was my first sort of colour console.
Hey,
before that it was green screen.
I was going to say sepia is a colour, sepia and black.
Well, yeah, I suppose, But just so much fun. Also, I'll throw in as well the Game Genies used to get back then with all the cheats. It was a black one with a red label, and you'd put the cartridge into this other cartridge, and then that would then go in the Nintendo. It was like this deep because the cartridge was like this, and then the Game Genie was like this. So your cartridge ended up being like this big, and it was hanging out the front of the Nintendo, and you obviously didn't push it down, but it was just and all the cheats. You get this book, and you just flip through all the different cheats. It was great.
That's giving me a great idea for a topic, actually.
Yeah,
I'll save that for later.
Yeah,
but no, I never had that. N64 was my first home. N64 was my first Nintendo home console. I had the Game Boy, like the big grey Game Boy. But so my memories are a lot more recent. N64.
I'm not that old.
Well, no, my first. I'm trying to think whether or not I had the Game Boy before the N64 or the N64 before the Game Boy.
Probably Game Boy, I would think. I don't
know. I would have thought Game Boy would have snuck in there.
I can't. Well, I definitely had a Game Boy anyway, and I remember Game Boy, and I played Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario World, and all of those games, and those were one of my earliest memories of Nintendo. I loved those games. It was basically, I had this handheld device, and I only ever played 5 games on it. It was those those 3 Mario games, Tetris, and 6 technically, because I had Pokemon Red and Blue, but it's the same game. So yeah, and that was all I had for it, and it was enough because Nintendo just knew how to make. Tetris itself was amazing. Such a basic game, and we've talked at length about our loves for Pokemon, but my favourite Nintendo memory is pretty much any Sunday or any weekend I used to go to a friend called Dave's house, and he had I had a younger brother and he had a younger brother, so the 4 of us, we'd sit in front of his TV, and his dad was like a doctor, or vet rather, so he had super big fancy TV. It probably weighed about 20
which is basically as deep as it was wide.
Yeah. I mean, when I say super big, it was probably only about 32 inches, but back then it was
that's a big
probably needed a forklift in order to lift it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So it just was going there, playing 4-player. We played Perfect Dark, Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye. I know they're not all necessarily Nintendo developed games. Mario Kart obviously is. The other one's from Rare, but just those, no one does it, and still really no one does it better now than Nintendo, than when it comes to creating that fun local co-op. It's all about, it's about sharing your gaming experience with your friends, which is as good as a single player game is, and we've all discussed at length how much we love those.
Yes, I think
those experiences can be just as good, if not better, especially when I win. Definitely.
And also I think that the colouring of games as well, the amount of colour and really vivid colour that Nintendo have always used, I think as well, with the reds, the yellows, the blues, the really big
very
primary colours.
They pop off the screen.
They do. Yeah. They've done well with that.
So what's closing out then, Dan?
Yeah.
What do you remember?
Well, like you, I spent a lot of time with the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Especially in the Pokemon games when I was younger, it's so many hours spent. That was basically my go-to travel game.
Yeah.
So if we were going away to England or whatever, and I was going to be in the back of the car, so the entire journey, I was looking at that.
And as a kid,
you only stopped when you started to feel maybe a little bit travel sick.
Yeah.
I mean,
it really didn't happen.
We just power through.
And the good thing is, with consoles back then, it wasn't rechargeable. It was, you could just buy more batteries.
Swap out the batteries.
It was great.
Yeah, so it was never ending.
Yeah. So and it's that for me, it was more of a battle of getting finished with what I was doing so I could save the game before we arrived where we were going to be.
Yeah.
So that I didn't get forced to turn it off and lose all my progress.
Yeah. And they were like, come on, Dan, you'll turn it off. We're going to be there in 5 minutes. Go around the block, goddammit. This is for my blue badge.
Yeah. But for me, probably my best memory and so on of my time with Nintendo, I only owned the N64 as a home console, Nintendo wise and so on, was probably beating Lilac Wars, which was Star Fox 64 in the US.
Yeah.
And so on. And that was the first game I actually beat in one sitting. Because I don't remember ever being able to save progress in that game. Maybe you could, and as a kid I just never noticed it. But whenever I played it, I always ended up starting from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so on, and you had your pathway and so on that you would take to actually get to the end. And I don't know whether you were or not, but my parents were a little bit more, don't overdo it on time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I was always they were...
You can have half an hour kind of things. You don't spend... But that was the first game that I got to actually sit through the entire thing in one go and just beat.
Had they just forgot about you?
No. I think it's because by the time I'd spent so long playing those early levels...
Yeah, you'd master
I'd got through them a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so I reached a point where it's I'm only a little bit away, I can actually beat this. And that actually got accepted. It wasn't just something parents coming off. Oh. It's but yeah.
It's brutal.
That was the first game I've completed in one go.
Yeah, that's something I never really think about that much now. Maybe we could have that as a topic for another day. But like just the lack of the ability to save stuff and like now you don't even think about it. Like I finished playing Batman, I just turn it off and like I turn it back on like a day later and it's just where I was.
Yeah.
Whereas like you know you had your memory cards and before that you had it saved it either on the cartridge or not at all.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Yeah.
And then some games actually gave you codes which you'd put in, so when you started from there, you didn't actually save the progress, eh?
They did.
Yeah, you'd get like a...
Yeah, they did.
They call it like a cheat code. It wasn't really a cheat code, was it? Because you started from level 5 code, yeah.
You're absolutely right, they did. It wasn't, you know, your character had leveled up or anything. They didn't have any of that stuff. It was just, you were in that particular place, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That's crazy time. We'll definitely have to talk about that in later.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Proper retro.
So those are all... I remember playing Star Fox. I know who Star Fox is, obviously, from Super Smash, mainly more so. Which is another game, which is obviously great fun.
Yes.
I nearly bought a Wii U the other week. Or did I say the week this week? I should have done. That would have been a nice tribute to.
It would have been.
Wouldn't it? I'd be like,
we actually bought one.
I bought one for you.
We will.
We'll
do some Let's Plays, definitely.
I do want to buy it. Well, you're not allowed. Nintendo doesn't let you. Wait, no, you are. You're just not allowed to make money off it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We're getting like 10 views. We don't need to worry about making money.
I don't think we need to worry about that.
Nintendo clears us down.
I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay. So that's it. Yeah. I think these were all good memories, good ways, and you know, all different memories. Obviously, firsts for you guys and. Well, they're all first. They're all because it was. That's as a kid, it was Nintendo or Sega, that was, you know, me and Dan weren't as lucky as you. We got bought the wrong one, as it turned out to be. But I don't remember if it was ever me wanting it. I don't know if you remember either. I don't think I had a choice. I'm not sure.
I think for me personally, I only ended up with the Mega Drive because that's what a couple of friends had.
Yeah.
So that's the one that my parents knew of.
Yeah, I did later move on.
And even then, it was second hand. It was never.
Yeah, same.
Like brand new out the box.
I moved on to the Mega Drive after going to a cousin's house and playing on Sonic, and that was it. I was just like, yeah, I want
that. Oh, poor old Sega. Also RIP, I suppose, really.
Yeah, but no, very good.
Good memories
this week. Yeah.
So next week we're going to go with Ash's question. Which he's brought up, which is basically to try and unpack the what you need and what is important in order to have a successful video game. That's what you're going for, is it?
I think, game ingredients, I think, really,
ingredients.
What's the right recipe for, making a successful game?
Well, I'll give you a spoiler right now. Chuck 20 million at Naughty Dog. Done. There you go. Conversation over. No, we'll talk about that one next week in a bit more length. But for now, obviously, leave any comments down below about your Nintendo memories, what your earliest ones were, or maybe even if you're still playing Nintendo, what your current ones are. And any ideas for any topics you want to see us discuss, let us know, and we can add them to the list. You might even get bumped up the list. Not that the list is very big. I'm making it sound like it's this grand thing when it's got like three topics on it.
That's it. We have just like a big lottery of balls that we spin.
We should get that. We should get like the clear plastic balls, like a Chinese fortune cookie kind of style.
Oh, that would be good.
Do you mean like just like the Kinder Egg in a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we could get them filled with Kinder Eggs. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a thing inside. I'm thinking about actual Kinder Eggs.
Yeah.
Somehow getting the paper inside a Kinder Egg.
Anyway,
we've
off track again.
Shock horror. But no, Ash, Dan, thank you as always.
Cheers, guys.
And everyone out there, thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time.